Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to present my paper on Global Conference on Business and Social Sciences 2020. My name is Agus Arianto Toly from Petra Christian University, Indonesia. And this allows me to present my paper. Its title is The Role of Risk in the Association of Company Growth Signals and Investor Response. This will be the background of my paper. As we know that the investment itself is a must for a company nowadays. Hasan and Habib in 2017 stated that by having an investment habit, the company can manage its cash flow, so the company cannot lose the chance to continuously grow and access in the marketplace. Because the business development trend push the company to have continuing growth. So by having an investment habit, the company can fulfill the challenge of the business trend. Capital expenditure and R&D expense, according to Flannery 2019, were the tools in order to increase the company's performance and competitiveness. So, investment can be indicated using the capital expenditure and R&D expense. So when the company can increase its capital expenditure and R&D expense, they want to show the investor that they want to have a growth in the future. And they hope that the investor will be positively respond for that signal, so the share price of the company will be increased. But some research stated that capital expenditure and R&D expense in the short term cannot contribute for a very massive increase of share price, because the result of the capital expenditure, the result of R&D expense had not affected the company revenue yet. It makes sense because the concern of capital expenditure and R&D expense was not the short-term performance, but for the long-term performance. Look at this finding regarding what's of the emitter of Indonesian Stock Exchange or IDX. AARI, Astra Investment. This company plan asset, indicated by the solid blue lines, is stagnant. So AARI's plan asset is stagnant. But there were an increase in the total asset and decrease in cost of debt or debt equity ratio. So, what's the result of this pattern? The Tobit scheme, or the share price using the other blue lines, not the solid one, was decreased. So when this AARI investment is stagnant, the market, yeah, the investors will negatively respond for this pattern, for this behavior. So the share price is negatively affected by the smooth pattern or the smooth cash flow for investment. But look at the other value. Yeah. Surprisingly, for this Asahi mass flat glass or AMFG, yeah, in July 1st, 2019, yeah, there was an 86% increase of its sale price. Yeah, and surprisingly also, it is parallel with the increase of its capital expenditure. So we can assume that the investors, yeah, especially the Indonesian stock exchange investor, will have a different point of view regarding this capital expenditure pattern or capital expenditure habit. Yeah, uh, I assume that Indonesian stock exchange investor uh, will show a different behavior. Yeah, they were no conservative one. There are progressive ones. So they won't always look at the short-term performance, but I assume that they will look at the uh, balance sheet or statement of financial position, yeah, rather than income statement only. Yeah, I assume that. Yeah, by looking at this data. Yeah. The other background of my paper or my theory is the capital expenditure itself is a signal for the investor. Yeah, a higher capital expenditure, yeah, from my previous or from my original point of view, send the investor that the life cycle of the company will be increased or there will be a growth in the company because of higher capital expenditure. While the company that has a smaller capital expenditure, a smaller portion of capital expenditure, will result on a decrease in the future. Yeah, but that's the what should I say? Yeah, the building of my theory. Yeah, the how can I derive my or how can I trigger my conclusion? Yeah, so uh, the capital expenditure is life cycle signal indicator for the investor. Yeah, if you look at the capital expenditure side of the company, you can assume that the future projection of the company is positive. Yeah, well, when you look at the capital expenditure is decrease or stagnant, yeah, the future of the company is questioning. Yeah, that is the background of my research. Yeah. So my the first objective of my research is I want to explore, yeah, what will be the responses of investor regarding the capital expenditure of the company. Yeah. In form of share price movement. So the response of the investor will be indicated by the share price movement in the long term. Yeah, and I will use company's life cycle as this control variable. The second objective is I want to verify that the investor, especially for the investor in Indonesia Stock Exchange, will concentrate on long-term projection rather than short-term financial performance only. Yeah, so that will be my research objective. Okay, let's move to the second part of my presentation is my review of the titles. I use signaling theory of Engers. Yeah. By using this signaling theory, I want to explain that when the company using external funding, yeah, in order to expand its business, yeah, when they use external funding for the expansion, it is a signal, it is a sign for the investor that my company or the company itself had a very strong uh, fundamental, yeah, had a very strong fundamental financial, yeah, financial fundamental. Why is that so? Because when the company using the external funding, yeah, so the cost of debt will be higher and debt to equity ratio will be higher too, yeah. Uh, they want to they want to send a signal that hey, uh, I can cope with this risk. Yeah, when there is an inherent risk of financial distress, yeah, I can cope with that. Yeah, don't worry. In the near future, yeah, uh, your investment will have a very good return. Yeah, not in the short term one. So, uh, external funding, yeah, as the indicator of, or as the trigger for the higher debt equity ratio that is used for expansion, that is used for capital expenditure, is a signal for the investor that the company is a strong one, that has a strong financial fundamental. Yeah. The second theory, yeah, from McDonald and Sharala, is capital spending theory. Yeah. Uh, Through capital expenditure and R&D expenditure, yeah, the company will uh, the company will optimize its chances uh, to have a new investment. Yeah, as I mentioned before that an investment habit is a must for the company. So how can they have a new investment? By using the capital expenditure and R&D expenditure. So CAPEX and R&D expenditure is the prime source, yeah, to optimize the chances. Yeah, that is stated by capital spending theory. Yeah, the other theory is SQ theory. Yeah, or company life cycle theory using ESQ. Yeah, stated or explained by Miller Friesen. Yeah, uh, 1984. I use this life cycle in order uh, to examine that uh, in each stage or in each phase of the life cycle, uh, the pattern of cash flow is different. Yeah. For example, in introduction phase, cash flow from investment will be zero. Yeah, there won't be cash flow from investment. Yeah, that's our basic theory, yeah, for this SQ. Because the company is concerned only with the cash flow from financing. Yeah. While when the company enter the growth stage, yeah, it can uh, earn more money from operation, but the result of the operation cannot be used for investment yet. Why? Because they still have high or more cost of debt. So their break even reserve and will be used to or will be allocated to to realize or to pay for the cost of debt. The company will have cash flow from investment, positive cash flow from investment in the maturity stage, because in that stage the burden of the company related with or regarding with the cash flow from financing will be lower. Yeah, so that's why I use this company's life cycle or SQ in order to explain the behavior or the pattern of cash flow allocation. The other theory is related with total asset theory. Yeah, it was stated by Diamond and Flannery. Yeah, in this theory, yeah, they stated that there will be different behaviors among the companies when they experience a deficit. It depends on the size of the company. If it is a smaller company, yeah, and they experience a deficit, a capital efficiency, they will reduce their portion of investment, and that portion will be higher than the bigger company. So if you are a bigger company, you will reduce your portion of investment, but that portion will be lower than the smaller company. Yeah, so the behavior to reduce the investment, yeah, especially in capital expenditure investment, will depend on the size of the company. Yeah, that is the theory stated by Diamond and Flannery. Yeah, total asset theory. What will be my research framework? Yeah, this picture, yeah, will describe what will be my research framework. Yeah, as I mentioned before, capital expenditure is the trigger, for the change in the share price. Yeah, how can capital expenditure affect the share price? By using the capital expenditure, there will be a growing probability for the company. Yeah, there is a probability for the company to grow. Yeah, using productivity rate. Yeah, because there is a fixed asset increase, they will increase their quality process. Yeah, or business process. Yeah, so R&D growing will indicate quality and process increasing. Furthermore, capital expenditure also trigger the future financial performance. Yeah, by using a capital expenditure, the return on asset, yeah, allegedly will be increased. But when you use external funding in order to push your capital expenditure, that will cause your business risk or debt to equity ratio will also be increased. But yeah, all of this behavior, all of this pattern will moving forward the share price, and allegedly the share price will be positively affected. Yeah, that will be my research framework. Yeah, so by using this hypothesis, yeah, there will be 5 hypotheses. Yeah, but in substance, there was only 3 hypotheses. The first one is general hypothesis. Yeah, I assume that the planned asset growth will affect the share price. The second group of my hypothesis is based on the assumption that there is positive growth of capital expenditure, or the portion of capital expenditure is increased. So hypothesis 2A and 2B is related with the trend of positive growth of capital expenditure, while the third hypothesis, yeah, A and B, hypothesis 3A and hypothesis 3B, is related with the trend in decreasing of capital expenditure. But all of them, yeah, all of the condition will be based on the assumption that the share price will be positively affected. Yeah, either in the increasing of CAPEX or decreasing of CAPEX. Yeah. What will be the research methods? My research methods is consists of variables. Yeah, these will be my variables. These are my variables. Yeah, total asset, profitability, yeah, or return on asset, and leverage ratio, yeah, debt to equity ratio, and capital spending growth. Yeah, they were my research variables. I will use 644 companies that is listed in Indonesia Stock Exchange or IDX from January 1st, 2015 until second quarter of 2019, where the financial sector was excluded because the pattern of the cash flow allocation, the pattern of capital expenditure is different with the other business sector. As a result, there were 320 companies that become my sample for this research. Yeah, for this research. These are my research model. So there will be three research models. The first one will be tested or will relate with the first hypothesis. The hypothesis 2A and 2B will relate with the second model, and the third one is related with the hypothesis 3A and 3B. Yeah. TA or total asset, yeah, is the proxy of capital spending, yeah, while FA or total planned asset or fixed asset will be also the proxy of capital spending, yeah. GFA is the growth of capital spending. So the difference between capital spending in the current period with the previous one, yeah, that will be the GFA or growth of capital spending, yeah, also known as growth, yeah, also known as growth. Return on asset, yeah, is the indicator of financial performance, yeah, measured using net income divided by DE, while debt to equity ratio or DER was measured using total liabilities divided by DE. Tobinski, yeah, Tobinski as the dependent variable will use the change in share price as the proxy, yeah, as the proxy. So Tobinski is as the dependent variable is will use share price as the or potential is the indicator of the share price movement. Yeah. After I perform the statistics test, yeah, the statistics test using the if-use, yeah, I have concluded that the first one, there is no effect of the asset growth, yeah, to the change in the share price, yeah. In the trend of increasing of capital expenditure, also there is no effect of total asset and total planned asset, yeah, in the change of the share price. But yeah, in the trend of uh, decreasing of investment, yeah, the total asset and total planned asset is positively affect the share price. Yeah. So when you reduce your investment, yeah, the investor will uh, will positively respond to the share price, yeah. Or on the other words, I will say that when your cash allocation for capital expenditure is is decreased, yeah, the future of your plan asset will affect the response from the investor. Yeah, so the investor will have a significant response only when your capital expenditure is decreased. Yeah, when your capital expenditure is increased, yeah, there won't be a specific behavior or significant behavior of the investor regarding the share price. Yeah, that is the conclusion of my research. So by using this research, I assume that, or I conclude that there is no different behavior of Indonesian stock exchange investor with the other investor. Yeah, the IDX investors still a conservative investor ones. Why? Because uh, they still look at, or they still concerned with the short-term performance rather than the future one. Yeah, they only respond to the company's performance only when the capital expenditure is decreased. That will be the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention, and hopefully we can be, or we can in the other conference. Furthermore, we can meet in the offline conference, yeah, not in the online ones. So we hope, we pray that this pandemic will be ended soon. Warm regard from Petra. Yeah, see you next time.